Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're delving into the wild world of The Rum Diary, a captivating film that takes us on a whirlwind adventure filled with passion, intrigue, and a splash of Caribbean chaos. The movie begins with a man named Kemp who is pretty drunk and wakes up in a hotel. He searches around for alcohol and drinks it. The movie is based in 1960 Puerto Rico. He wore sunglasses to hide his drunken eyes and drove this car. There was a violent protest going on by the local people. Kemp somehow managed to get inside the building. He visits editor-in-chief E.J. Lauderman in his office. Apparently, he was applying for a job there. However, Lauderman easily identifies that he is drunk. But Lauderman liked the fact that Kemp follows a middle path in political matters and hires him. Kemp started his work, but just then a man named Sanderson approached him and appreciated him for his work. Later that night, Kemp and Bob, a staff photographer from the same company, went to have drinks together. Bob informed Kemp that the publication will go out of business soon as the local people are angry at Americans because they are capturing all their job opportunities. Both left the place after having some drinks. Kemp visits his hotel and wants to go for a swim, but guards stop him as a private party is going on. So the pool is reserved. Kemp takes a paddle boat to a nearby pool. There he saw a girl swimming. She thought that she was alone and apologized to Kemp. She tells him that she snuck out of the party where her boyfriend is making a speech. Kemp asks for her name, but she says that she would like to keep it as a mystery and leaves. The next day in the office, a man named Moberg came to the office for the payday. But since he doesn't work properly due to his addiction to alcohol, Lauderman fired him. Moberg threatened to sue him, but Lauderman yelled at him to leave. Lauderman then asks Kemp to go to the airport to interview the mayor. Kemp met Sanderson there, but the flight got canceled, so Sanderson invited Kemp to his house. They both drove to Sanderson's house. It was a luxurious house facing the beach. There, Kemp got to know that the girl he went to the pool earlier was Sanderson's girlfriend. Sanderson introduced her as Chenault, and she also acts like she is seeing him for the first time. Sanderson then informs Kemp that he wants him to write an Amazon article for his business. Kemp keeps on looking at Chenault in between and after a short discussion with Sanderson. He leaves. He visits Bob, who promised him to provide accommodation at a reasonable price. Bob informs him that Moberg keeps his clothes at the apartment. He also informs Kemp that he has chickens that he uses for fighting and earns a decent amount of money from there. After some time, Moberg shows up with some filters that he bought. He told them that it can filter up to 470 proof of alcohol. Kemp says that there is nothing like that. Moberg drinks some of the drink and spray it on a lighter, which results in a big flare of fire. He asks Kemp to take a blow, but he refuses. Since Moberg was drunk, so he started abusing Lauderman. The next day, Kemp recited his written article to Lauderman, but he refuses to print it as it hurt the sentiments of local people, and says the truth. Lauderman doesn't like to be involved in such things, so he said it can't be published. Later, Kemp visits Sanderson. He saw Sander and Chenault having an intimate moment. But just then, a man and a woman arrived. Sander introduced the man as Art Zimberger, an ex-U.S. Marine officer. But just then, some local people came to the beach and Sanderson started yelling at them to leave the beach as its private property. Kemp finds it unsettling, but he didn't say anything. Later that evening, there was a party at Sanderson's house. Many people were there. Kemp had a meeting with Sanderson and his people, including Zimberger and a man named Segura. There, he got to know that Sanderson, with his team, wants to make a tourism spot on an island and wants Kemp to write articles giving their business a positive outlook. After coming back from the party, Kemp tells Bob about his feelings for Chenault, but Bob advises Kemp to stay away from her due to her involvement with Sanderson. Later, they try to get a meal at a roadside hotel, but the waitress says they're closed. Bob demands dinner from the owner, which makes Kemp feel the tension between the owner and others there. Kemp suggests leaving calmly to avoid trouble, but this causes the upset locals to chase them. Bob gets scared, worrying about their safety. While Kemp tries to scare the locals, they end up surrounded, leading to a fight, and the police arrive to stop it. They are taken to the police station and charged with various offenses, including assault and causing injuries. The prosecutor wants to put them in jail for a month, but Sanderson steps in and gets them out by paying. The next day, Bob and Kemp go back to where they left their car and find it damaged by angry locals. Bob fixes the car, and they head back home after an interesting journey. Kemp meets with Sanderson's team, who tells him about a piece of land that the military is giving up, which they want to use for their plans. They want to build a whole estate, which worries Kemp as he thought they were only building a hotel. The team assures him it's just the start. After the meeting, Kemp has to sign an agreement not to tell anyone about their plans. Kemp agrees and asks Sanderson for help. Sanderson gives him money and a new car and asks him to pick up Chenault from Sanderson's place. At the house, Chenault invites Kemp to an upcoming carnival. During their journey back, Kemp and Chenault start feeling a romantic attraction, but try to ignore it. When they get back to the apartment, Bob tells Kemp that their adventure from the previous night is in the newspaper. This becomes a problem when Edward scolds them for their reckless actions. Concerned about Bob, Kemp invites him to an island and suggests they go to a carnival together. On the island, Mr. Zimberger talks more about their plan to build hotels and resorts on the beach. Kemp and Bob discuss Sanderson's project, and Kemp thinks it will harm the locals who might lose their land, but he realizes Sanderson doesn't care. At the carnival, Sanderson is unhappy to see Bob with Kemp. He scolds Kemp for sharing the island and their business plans with Bob, but Kemp assures him that Bob won't reveal anything. While on a boat, Kemp and Chenault have a close moment. Kemp talks to Chenault about wanting to improve his writing skills. After dinner, Kemp leaves the party to join his friends, and Chenault insists on going with him. Despite Sanderson's objections, Chenault ignores his worries and goes with Kemp. At a local club, Chenault dances with the locals in an intimate manner while drunk, which upsets Sanderson. He tries to step in but gets kicked out of the club by security. The next morning, Sanderson is angry and blames Kemp for the previous night, canceling their business deal. When they return home, they find Moberg in the apartment. He tells them Lauderman has left and the newspaper is going to shut down. He gives them a special illegal substance that makes Kemp see things clearly. Kemp decides to reveal Sanderson's real estate fraud. Suddenly, Chenault returns and seeks shelter with them. Later, Kemp talks to a newspaperman about exposing Sanderson. When the newspaperman refuses, Kemp realizes the challenges in the journalism world and thinks about what to do next. Feeling bad about the mess, Chenault says sorry to Kemp. He tells her that the chaos made him realize he needs to expose the bad things happening instead of staying silent. They get a court notice saying Sanderson took back his bail, so now they're fugitives. Bob goes to talk to their lawyer while Moberg shows up and tells them the newspaper is about to close. Kemp decides to publish one last issue exposing Sanderson's wrongdoings, but they don't have enough money. Kemp finds a note from Chenault saying she's gone to New York and left money behind. Kemp decides to use the money for a chicken fight to raise more funds. He tells Bob and Moberg, and they agree. They get help from Moberg's friend Papa Nebo for the fight. After winning the fight, they come back to the office and find out Sanderson's men took the printing press. This crushes their plan to publish the final issue and is shattered by this revelation. Still, Kemp doesn't give up. He leaves Puerto Rico on one of Sanderson's boats. The movie ends with a scene after the credits showing Kemp back in New York. He marries Chenault and becomes a successful journalist, fulfilling his potential. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to share your experience with us by like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye and take care.